The modern anime landscape has been pretty rough recently. In the past decade, the sheer amount of isekai fantasy light novel adaptations have created this valley of mediocre slop that we can't seem to get rid of. Almost every season, we get a stupid gimmick show with a long title. We're either reincarnating into random objects, some different power gimmicks, and for every amazingly produced show we get each year, there's like five of these that come with that. So around 10 years ago, when this long title meta was still shaping itself and everything was trying to become the next ReZero or Overlord, a show popped up called, oh, in English, what do you do at the end of the world? Are you busy? Will you save us? This title used to be the laughingstock of the community back then, with people citing it as the main issue with anime and the direction it was heading. Long attention grabbing titles that really didn't have any substance. The show really didn't feel that much different at first. It had a John Doe protagonist and a bunch of multicolored anime girls that rotate between the same few personalities that have existed since the Heian era, and also just this average fantasy world that we've seen time and time again, except this time it's floating. The main character, Willem, is actually the last human in this world who is thought to be extinct 500 years ago. He's only alive due to a cryogenic freezing spell that was put on him all the way back then. The only people who are left in this world are a bunch of beast folk that look like background extras from Beastars, and literally none of them have any screen presence at all. They did have a relationship between this lizard guy and Willem, but nothing really comes from that. Eventually, that same lizard friend offers him a job at the military. This time, he has to be a warehouse attendant for a bunch of weapons. The big surprise here is that he's actually caretaker for a bunch of children, and he thinks it's just some funny joke. Eventually, after a quarter of an episode, he just comes to terms with his position and gets along with everyone, especially this blue haired one named Kitali. I don't know if you could tell that she's the main character based on how many times she's plastered on every single piece of media in this show. The days go by, and Willem just works as this normal caretaker. He makes food for them, he plays with them, he listens to them ramble about whatever the hell. And it feels weird because even though this is a slice of life show, there's this weird dark undertone between all of their conversations. Like there's something that Willem doesn't know. And eventually, that's when he realizes that there's more to this place that meets the eye.
I fell down hard.
About 500 years ago, the Black Agate Swordmaster and his party were set to fight these creatures called visitors that threaten the world. In a battle with one of them, the Swordmaster was petrified due to the curses he used to fight. And after this, these 17 beasts came from the corpses of the visitors, and all the non human races fled to these floating islands. The Swordmaster I was talking about was actually Willem, and to face the threats of the beasts now, fairies that imitate humans called leprechauns, not those short, long nosed, stubby creatures, are the only way to fight against them since they could wield the artifacts left behind from the humans. In essence, the girls in the show that Willem are taking care of are actually death machines that don't fear dying. Half human, half fairies that the government is growing up to send to their deaths. Now with the backstory of Willem out of the way and also some questions of the world answered, the relationship between Willem and Kitali is what really sets the show apart from its fantasy contemporaries. Main characters that are treated as girl magnets and these one-dimensional heroines that fall for them exist in dozens of shows in this genre. Kitali has reason to like Willem, and Willem isn't the powerful swordsman he used to be, making this not your basic power fantasy. He knows that he can't be the solution to the greater problem, and he understands that, and he actually fights himself countless times in the show, wondering why he can't be what he used to be. All the happy moments between these characters have this subtle sadness lingering in the background. Just how we know the fate of these girls, the characters don't ignore it either. Kithley falls for Willem because she knows that she has limited time. Slowly, Kithley becomes more and more human, and in turn, that means she gets closer and closer to her fate. But Willem keeps making the promise of saving her, one he knows he can't keep. It's a girl rushing to love before time can catch up to her, and a man given a second shot at protecting his home. And with all the information given to us, the world that felt generic first suddenly has a lot more questions to wonder about than the title itself. Who are these visitors? What human is Kitali specifically meant to be imitating? Who are the 17 beasts? And also, why is her hair red now? In the dozens of isekai that come out every single year, I don't think the quality of fantasy anime has come to a standstill. The show isn't perfect, and there's moments of light novel exposition and terminology dumps, especially near the end, but the tragedy and genuine connection of these characters that the show builds up is something that's missing from a lot of shows in this genre. Fantasy is so obsessed with trying to create this perfect escapism for the viewer, but sometimes it just needs to focus on creating a good and interesting world. The original light novel actually has two more extra volumes of content that aren't shown in the anime, and also a side story piece, and also a sequel light novel called Tsukamoka that follows some of the younger characters after the events of Willem and Kithlei's journey. I mainly made this video just to put some light on a show that people don't talk about anymore, and I'm sure there's countless of others out there that also deserve some type of spotlight.
Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Remember me to one full stay. He once was.